Hey guys, my name is Naija Brown and welcome back to my channel, Caffeinated Nooks. As you guys can tell by the title, I am doing a reading vlog. And I'm doing a reading vlog on this lovely book, and this is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've heard a lot about this book on Book Talk and BookTube. Every time I would go to the bookstore, I would see this book and I would see something a lot more interesting than this book, and so I would pick that up instead of this book. And also, as you guys know, I'm a cover whore and I don't like people on the cover. And that's exactly what this book has. But as you guys know, the new Amazon Prime series of Daisy Jones and the Six is coming out. Everybody's raving about it and how lovely the characters are and how pretty they are. So of course, I have to go and watch it. But I'm a true believer that the book is always better than the show, the movie, because it just is. So here we are, me reading Daisy Jones and the Six. This is gonna be our reading vlog. I've never really done a reading vlog, and I was really apprehensive about doing them in the past because I'm like, who's gonna watch me read a book? Like, who's gonna watch me read a book? Like, nobody likes that. And then I'm like, I actually like watching people read books. So I'm gonna just read. I don't really know how this goes, but I'm just gonna read, pop in, tell you guys my opinions thus far at the point that I am in the book, and then we will go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get straight to it. Guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I haven't even started reading. I ate a whole pint of ice cream. Butter pecan is the best ice cream, superior. I'm about to start reading. I was watching You for a minute because I saw like a TikTok and it was talking about You, and I was like, let me actually go and watch it because why not? And then I got bored again. But I'm gonna start now. I need to put something on in the background. That's why I was trying to watch You, but like it's not giving. Maybe I'll put on like Family Guy. I love Family Guy and I know all the episodes. I do want to do a disclaimer. Like, usually I read books within like a day or two, like 2 days, sometimes 3 days max. That's the max, right? But I do want y'all to know that I am a slow reader, or at least I consider myself a slow reader. I'm not like a super fast reader. Like, I'm not gonna buzz through the book real quick. It's gonna be a minute. But I'm gonna check in with you guys once I get past like the first. Does this have chapters? I feel like it should have chapters. I'll actually check in with you guys once I get through like the first like chapter, just to see if I like it thus far. Searching Bob's Burger on my iPad. We love that for us. And I'm reading in my bed because usually I read in my bed. I have my usual items for book reading. You guys know, if you don't, I use tabs, I use highlighter, and I use a pen. I always write in blue pen, like especially important stuff that I want to remember. I need to buy more highlighters. This is like my last highlighter. My mom bought highlighters, but I don't think I like them. And I really do like the Bic highlighters because they glide on so smooth. I don't like the Sharpie ones because they don't glide on as smooth, but they work better than probably the ones my mom got. So I'm back. Hey. So I just finished reading the first the first chapter, if you will. I don't know if there's chapter. I think there's just part. But the first chapter, I'm gonna just say chapter, is the groupie Daisy Jones from 1965 to 1972. So first of all, I have conflicting feelings. I don't want to sound like a hater because I just started reading it, but the way it says here is what is so captivating about Daisy Jones even before she was Daisy Jones. You've got a rich white girl growing up in LA. She's gorgeous even as a child. She has these stunning blue eyes, dark cobalt blue. I skipped that next sentence and I put, she's got copper red hair that is thick and wavy and takes up so much space, and then her cheekbones almost seem swollen. That's how defined they were. And she's got an incredible voice that she doesn't cultivate, never takes a lesson. She's born with all the money in the world, access to whatever she wants, artists, drugs, clubs, anything and everything at her disposal. And my comment is this really captivating? This is basically almost every white girl with money. I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe it's me. I've made a lot lot of notes, and it's just these first few pages. That's not captivating. I think more so the way that Greg describes her makes her seem a lot more captivating than the way that Elaine describes her. Like, that's a lovely description, but that's not captivating. Maybe back then it was different, but anybody with money, especially a white woman, can get into any club and have access to anything they want. Greg, like, describes her, I think, is very bold and very big. She was like the bigger picture, and one thing he said was she was cooler than anything else happening around her. Next, right, I don't know why I'm going on a tangent, but I just want to, because I'm new, so I have some comments and I'm gonna tell you guys all about my comments. But Simone, I have a love-hate relationship with her, because when she was first introduced, I truly did not like her. The first time she's introduced, I think, is on page 11, and she says she was maybe 15. I was probably 19. I just kept thinking, does anybody care about this girl but me? And later we see like her caring about Daisy or whatever, but the whole paragraph before this is them partying and Daisy passing out on some guy's patio. 15 with a 19-year-old, meaning that there was a bunch of other people around, probably around that 19-year-old's age. And so I put, do you really care about her if you're letting her get drunk and party with adult and do drugs? Because that doesn't seem like you care. Like, if there's a younger female in my life, as a 23-year-old, right? Even at 19 though, there's a younger female in my life, especially at the age of 15, and she's getting drunk and doing drugs, I would not feel comfortable. Even if I was like out here getting drunk and doing drugs by myself, doing nefarious activities, I would not want to do them with a 15-year-old, especially if I care about them. So, okay. But then she encourages Daisy to go to school, and she's there for Daisy graduating, and it does seem like she is one of the only people who cares about Daisy at this point in her life, because her parents fucking suck. Wyatt, Mr. Wyatt Stone, Mr. I love you so much and I don't understand why you don't love me. Sir, you stole her song. Someone who loves you truly and unconditionally and with their whole heart would not steal something from you. Asked him about it, and he's like, why are you asking me about this? This is water under the bridge. Who even remembers? Sir, you remember. If you say it's water under the bridge, that means that you remember what happened and you think that it's water under the bridge. End of it did end with Daisy finding herself and understanding that she is more than someone's inspiration. So I love that. But one thing that really did get me, I think Greg said it. It says Daisy just was, though. Didn't seem like she was trying to be anything except herself. And it's so ironic because she was pretending to be this cool kid, this older person, to fit in, to feel like she was seen and appreciated. It's like an interview style. I thought that it wouldn't be like an interview style. Does it like actually turn to a story, or is it an interview the whole time? It's different, I give you that. I'm back with an update. Excuse my fan, it's hot in here. I took a few breaks in between. It's a really interesting book, so it's not because the book is boring, like in that way. So here we are. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't judge me because I have insomnia, so I'm often up around this time. I'm on page 76, and I got through a big enough, nice enough part to know that Billy is a dirtbag. I actually do not like him. I hate that everybody was like, you know, it's a problem when heroin gets in the mix. But no, not all the other times we were in our studio sessions and we were, you know, sniffing coke. That's not a problem. All the pills that we were popping, that's not really a problem. That wasn't an addiction before. All the drinking that we were doing, it's actually not an addiction, but heroin, that's where we draw the line. I think the issue was when they started really making the album and fine-tuning the album when he was sniffing coke every day. That's the issue. And then he went on tour and it became worse. Then he had the audacity to play with Miss Camille and say, well, I really just wanted her to leave. That was his thought process. But Miss Camille was like, I'm not leaving. And I mean, even I put in the book, I said, she gonna stick by her man. I guess. She's better than me. I would have been all up in, I don't condone violence, but it would have been some problems in that car, because how dare you, me 6 months pregnant at home, carrying your spawn, and you're out here in these streets heavy. And then like, I don't trust anything that he says, because when he first cheated on Miss Camille, right, and he was like all guilty, he's like, oh my God, I'm not gonna do it again. Like I just won't do it again. His brother's like, yeah, just don't do it again. Grandma's just like, don't do it again. Next few lines, I don't even know if it's the next few lines or like the next chapter, he's doing it again, but he's doing it worse. Now he's doing the drug, he's doing the drinking, and he's having sex every night. Every night he's cheating. He's like, I won't do this and I won't do that, but he does exactly what he says he won't do. I know what not to be. I know what not to be when he sees his dad. Now he is committed to being a good dad, and I do not believe him, because we're only 1/3 of the book through. Like, we're not even halfway through for me to even be like, okay, maybe there's a slithering of a chance that he becomes a better person. But I know he's not gonna become a better person because y'all spoil it on TikTok for me, and I know that him and Daisy gonna have a little something going on, and Miss Camille gonna be sitting back there and he gonna be playing with my girl until the number tour. And that's, I think I'm gonna stop there and then put the book away because I need to go to sleep. Shit is going down in this book, and I've never thought that I would be this interested in a book that's not fantasy. Like, there are romance novels that I'm like invested in. In my case, I'd have left that man, took my baby. Me and my sister are very close. We would have had to jump him personally. I think she's really in love with the potential. I don't think he was ever like I don't think he was a bad person, but I don't think he was a trustworthy person from the beginning. I feel like a lot of addicts, you know, are denial, and I think that she thought like, yeah, he does it here and there, but it's not a problem. But when you do it here and there, it then becomes a problem. Over time, it's gonna become a problem. So I don't know what she expected. No, it was like the 70s and everybody's doing it. It's really infatuated with the potential of a family. That's far. I don't really know because I'm not that far into it, but I truly think that she's infatuated with the idea of a family, and therefore she's like vying for this family, and she's gonna stand by this man regardless. I understand, like, he has this shadow of doubt. You know, sometimes shit happens and you're not planning for a child and you're not planning for all of this and you don't know, but I think that's something that he should have had a discussion about, like the uncertainty, and, you know, talking to her about it, because now you're married and now you're going to bring a child into this world, and I think a lot of things can be fixed with conversations instead of you running out the damn bed as soon as the bus comes. Then she says, we love you. He's like, who's we? She's like, me and the baby, and he hangs up. I can't do reading vlogs because this is putting me in so much turmoil. I don't think anybody understands. I want to fight for Camilla. I want to fight for her, because how dare you do that? How dare you disrespect me? And she caught them in the act. Ooh. Really, truly, and honestly think that people need to understand that he is a grown man, and his actions are only his and solely his. And of course there can be people who like encourage that behavior, but he's a grown man. This man was a grown ass man. He was grown enough to cheat. He was grown enough to do drugs. He's a grown man. Okay, my lovely people, I'm filming on my iPad because my phone did indeed run out of storage yet again, but I am currently on page 155 of Daisy Jones and the Sick. And guys, when I tell you, I cannot, there's so many comments that I have to make. I don't even know where I left off last, but I'm gonna just go from page 120 something onwards. So we know that Billy is clean, which we love that for him. We love that for his family. I'm at the part where she just joined the band, but we know that she has a song with them and is pretty big, and so they're gonna continue on with that. I don't think she's a good influence on Billy. First of all, he is just now a sober man, newly sober at the time that this is happening, that he's going back on the road, and Daisy's also going to be on the road with them, and it's just not a fun time for him because he's newly sober and he has all these influences, and each and every one of the six, all of them have a drug problem. Because I'm skipping around, but basically Graham and Karen, they get together, you know, they're doing a little thing, end up like officially living together for like the spring and the summer while they're off tour. And they are passing out every night high. Daisy was basically pink. He's an ass. She wanted to cut it off. Actually, she was telling him that she didn't want to be with him every night before she fell asleep, which I feel like if somebody's telling me that they don't want to be with me every night before I fall asleep, I'm guessing that they don't want to be with me. I think I would exit the situation, but he didn't leave the situation. She tells him finally that she doesn't want to be with him, and he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, no, I don't want to be with you. And then he wants to start getting violent. Like, you know, he backed her into a corner, then he left, and then he was like thinking about it, so he was about to go back and do something until Billy was in the hallway, you know. So Billy looked at him like, that's not the right idea, and so he left the section. He also took her band with her, so then when they did their next concert, she had to perform a cappella. But then in the interview, this is what he says: all I care to say is that Daisy Jones and I had a strictly professional relationship from 1974 to 1977, which was mutually terminated due to differences of opinion regarding the trajectory of her career. I continue to wish her the best. I think that Daisy has been around so many people who has placed stock in her looks and, you know, her talent, that she has this air of self-importance around her, and it really pisses me off every single fucking time she speaks. Like, she annoys me. I don't know if anybody else felt this about her, but like, she really annoys me. It's like, oh yeah, this is my song, when in fact it's all of their song. It's not your song. It's all of your song, but you think it's solely yours. She thinks everything is solely hers, and I don't know if it's because she grew up not having to share, but it's an issue because that's not just your song. Or in a recent chapter, it was when he named the band, it was like Daisy Jones and the Six, right? And she was like, yes, my name is in the forefront because I bring attention to this group. There's so many other elements in this group besides you that bring attention to this group. I'm pretty sure the hot guys bring the girls to the group. I don't know how hot they were, but in my mind, that's how they describe the men, as very attractive men, right? I think there's so many other things besides that bring people to this group, and it's not just you, because they were doing perfectly fine when you weren't there. They were doing perfectly fine when you weren't there. Now their popularity did soar because now they have another singer and they have another person who also had an individual career that was bought into this group. I think Teddy wanted to make sure my name was prominent. I brought attention to the band. My name needed to be front and center. I love a confident woman. I'm all for women being confident and, you know, standing in that. You know what I mean? I'm that bitch. But she's so self-centered. Why does your name need to be front and center? And you just got in the group. These other people have been working together for years. They've been putting in work for years to get where they are. And here you are thinking that your name needs to be front and center? Oh, okay. You know what is so funny? And I really wanted to talk about it. It's the fact that Warren thinks that he knows who Karen is sleeping with. He thinks it's Bones, the lighting guy, right? And in fact, she's sleeping with Graham, right? So he's like he's putting two and two together and getting five. And it is so funny as he's like observing these things, and he's observing them so wrong, and it's hilarious. I mean, they're doing a good job at hiding it. Eddie and Billy have a little bit of beef because Eddie feels like Billy does not take into account his opinions and his feelings, as well as him being one of the last people to figure out a lot of the things that are happening in the band, which is absolutely true, right? He was one of the last to figure out if Daisy was going to be in the band. The last person to figure out was Daisy, but he was like, he was right there with her. So I understand where he's coming from, and it really pisses me off because Billy, like on page 135, Billy is talking about like making decisions and how his decisions in regards to putting Daisy in the group would affect everyone, you know what I mean? Not just him. And he doesn't mention everyone because he also didn't mention Pete. I forgot that Pete was there because, like, first of all, Pete wasn't even, like, he was really minding his business throughout this book. I haven't heard about Pete. So when Daisy joins the group, she does this whole thing and she's like, I want to help write songs. Like, she's already trying to establish herself, which is understandable. But everybody's like saying what they want to do. So like Cameron's like, I want to do a little bit more on the keyboard, and everybody's just saying what they want to do. Eddie comes in and he was like, I want to write my own riffs from here on out. And so Billy gets mad immediately. It's like beef on site with those two. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. As I suspected, Daisy and Billy are getting closer, and it's actually pissing me off because I feel like I know where this is going, and I don't want to know where this is going because it should be going nowhere, because he is indeed married. Now I understand friendship, I understand being close, I understand that these two have something in common. They really love music, they're in the same band, they should be friends, but y'all should not be out here writing songs about each other, because that's basically what's happening. And he is in denial because Impossible Girl was definitely about Daisy. Everybody knew it, even Daisy knew it. And then like as he's doing a little interview, he's like, I mean, I wrote it for her. I mean, no, I didn't write it for her. Like, boy, the only person you should be writing songs about is Camilla and your daughters. So obviously, you know, I'm really not feeling it. I think I really enjoy Eddie, not the most. Like, he's not my favorite character. I think Warren is definitely my favorite character. He's very blunt. He's just there for the ride. He's like, bitch, that's what happened, and that's what happened, and I didn't give a fuck because it wasn't me. But I can understand where Eddie is coming from. Like I said before, I think he just wants to be appreciated. He was there, and now a new girl is coming in, and like she's able to make changes and do what she wants, but he's not, and he's been with the band for quite a while, for almost the beginning. There was another person before him, and he just feels underappreciated, and then he's just like, this is making me into somebody like I'm not. Like, this is making me to a totally different person. I'm not this person. Like, I'm not a bitter person, and this is what it's making me feel like. Because, you know, you go into work and you feel like a second-class citizen, and so he's just feeling really uncomfortable in his space. He just feels like he has to bite his tongue. He feels like he can't have any creative freedom, and so you can understand why he's frustrated, and I feel for him, to be honest. I don't know if he were to leave, would Pete leave? I have a feeling that he will leave, but I'm wondering if he leaves, will his brother leave? Because one thing about me is I have two sisters, and if I'm in a band and my sisters leave, I'm leaving too, because we're in this together. Like, my sisters don't like you, I don't like you, it is what it is. So I'm very happy this happened, because Daisy finally acknowledged that she has this air of self-importance about her. I would call it entitlement at this point. It's really getting frustrating just watching her act like she's so important and not take into account other people's time. Like, she's showing up to sessions late, you know, she's showing up to sessions high, drunk, and it's a waste of other people's time. It's not just a waste of her time. And me as a Taurus, I don't like to waste time. I don't like my time wasted. I just like to get it done, get it ready, and call it a night. I'm a part of the Billy hate train. I am on page 210 right now, and I'm gonna read through, hopefully finish it. I'm not going to sleep until I finish it. Once I finish it, I'm gonna go take a shower, first of all, take my makeup off, take a shower, and hopefully get my life together. But yeah, I have quite a few more pages to go. I'm on 210. I have, like, I want to say a little over some pages to go. And so my rating thus far is definitely not a 5-star, probably not even a 4-star. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 right now as I read it, but we're gonna see how I feel about it, like, once I get to the end, because then that will kind of dictate how I feel about the book and so forth and so on. I'm back and I've finished. I'm gonna give you guys my quick synopsis before I end the video, because I really want to take off this makeup and get in the shower, and I was content on not doing any of that until I finished reading the book. Book was a decent book. It wasn't the best book I ever read, and it wasn't the worst book I ever read. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars. It wasn't a bad book, honestly. I enjoyed it for what it was. There was a lot of characters that I did not like, so let's go over them. I did not like Daisy Jones. Now, while there were certain parts that I did enjoy about her, overall I did not like her. You can see my makeup coming off. It's been a long night. I did not like how she was self-centered and entitled. I said it throughout most of the book. I feel like she was very self-centered. I feel like she was very entitled, and she had a lot of growing to do, and I feel like she wasn't able to acknowledge that until you know. I'm so happy about the end of the book and how everybody ended up, you know. I can now see why Pete was not in a lot of everything in the book. Like, he didn't speak a lot because he wasn't really taking it that serious. Like, he was even telling, like, Eddie to not take it serious because it's not that serious. I wish I would have known more about him, but I can understand why he didn't, because even in the end he was like, I like to look forward, I really don't like to look at the past, yada yada yada. Eddie is in his elements. I'm so happy that he's found something that works for him, because the band certainly was not working for him. It was not working for him. He was going through a lot, and I think he needed in an environment where he was a little bit more appreciated, and the band did not allow for that at all for him. I did not like the situation between the brothers at the end, right before, you know, we had that whole, like, oh, where are they now situation. Graham was going through a really hard time because him and Karen, she ended up getting pregnant, and she ended up deciding that she did not want to have kids. And she even stated this earlier in the book. She was like, kids are something that's not in the card. She was like, Camilla is someone who wants kids. I'm not. There's some people who you could just tell that they want to be mothers and they don't want to. And I think she had some issues of her own with bringing in a kid into this world that is not wanted, and I think that's something that she had to explore on her own, and that had really nothing to do with Graham, as well as the fact that like she has a career. I think a lot of times, especially in the 70s, women were really expected to drop their careers to take care of children. And even Graham was like, well, we could just find another keyboardist. She was like, no, because I worked for this like for so long. And she was like, well, are you gonna like drop out the band so that you can like take care of a kid? No. Okay. It kind of is sad that a lot of them are not friends right now. Like Eddie is on his own. Obviously him and Pete, they're brothers, they're gonna be around each other forever. Same thing with Graham and Lee. But I also think that because of the fact that they're away from each other now and they're not in the band, I think that they have time to mend a relationship that they didn't know was broken, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of times Graham was an enabler to Billy's behavior, and because he was an enabler, Billy started to display those same behaviors that he displayed to other people, to his brother. Camilla was my favorite character until the end. He ended up passing away in 2012. I think it was December 1st of 2012, if I'm not mistaken. I'm yawning because I'm so tired. I started to get like really bored towards the end. I don't know if it's just me, but I started getting bored towards the end because I felt like it was just pissing me off. It was getting repetitive. Like, we knew that Daisy had feelings for Billy. I felt like it did need to be explored more, and I felt like at a certain point it just became disrespectful to Camilla, because now they're singing in front of Camilla, giving each other the googly eyes in front of Camilla. She had to go talk to Miss Daisy. It just was getting really, it just was. And at one point I was like, at what point do I stop feeling bad for Miss Camilla and just be like, girl, like let's but I feel like it was also emotional cheating. Like, you're in love with this other woman and I'm here and I know you won't leave me, but I also know that you're more in love with her possibly than me. Because for somebody who won't love you right here, somebody else will love you and give you all of that and be in love with you and show you, you know, faithfulness and soberness and give you all of that. Like, you would have that. Imagine Camille to be this amazing, beautiful girl. And so even like when I see the pictures of her on TikTok from the Netflix series, I think she's just the most beautiful girl, and there's somebody who's gonna offer her that and more. And I feel like, you know, she should have probably found somebody, but I understand loving someone and wanting to be there for them. The book is a 3.5 out of 5. I think she got her lick back in this book too. Like, when she went to go meet, I think he was an ex-football player, she went to go get her lick back, and I was like, yes. But there's more of her lick back in the Amazon series apparently, so I'm gonna go watch it. Not today, not tomorrow, but eventually I will watch it. I just wanted to get this book done and get it ready so I can then watch it, and I think I'm gonna go finish my night. Guys, to close off this video, if you guys like this video, please make sure that you give this video a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that little notification bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos, because we're doing it frequently. We're not playing any games. So, right, if you read this book, let me know your opinions on the comment section down below. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Like, what was it giving for you? But I am very happy that I read it because everybody was talking about it and I was always looking at it. But yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was up. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.